All right, guys, welcome into Bears Now by Chat Sports. How are we feeling after last night's Bears win 12-10 over the Vikings? The first Bears win without a touchdown since 1993, the year I was born. Fill in the blank. I feel blank after last night's win. Apathetic, happy. Let me know in the comments how you feel after last night's Bears victory. All right, let's jump into overreaction. Monday, Tuesday, I'm so used to it being Monday. It's all the same here. Are the Bears moving on from Justin Fields after this season? Two smoking Jays, it's definitely a possibility, and quite frankly, it's probably closer to 3 than it is to 1 if we're being objective and honest about what we think the Bears are going to do. It was an uneven performance last night from Fields. I actually thought as a passer, he executed what Luke Getsy wanted, which we'll talk about Getsy in a minute, don't worry. 27 of 37, 217 yards. He had no touchdowns, no interceptions, rushed 12 times for 59 yards, but those 2 fumbles in the fourth quarter really stand out. I mean, there's no way around it. But on the flip side, you got to give him credit for flushing those 2 turnovers and finding a way late. It was certainly an incomplete performance, pun unintended. It was up, it was down. There were some brutal penalties in the first half that killed some drives for this offense. That's been a theme all year, too many penalties, undisciplined. That's a big problem, and that's a reflection of coaching, in my opinion. But it wasn't all bad for Fields. In fact, a lot of it was average to above average. But the problem is the 2 fourth-quarter turnovers are just, you can't have them. I mean, especially in a low-scoring game like that where points and field position is at a premium. Again, though, the 2-minute drive, that's good to go win the game. He hasn't done that a ton in those situations. So that was definitely a positive step, but you shouldn't have been in that place in the first place. So, again, that's where kind of the uneven, incomplete type of performance kind of falls there. Now, I put out this graphic, and I did a whole video on this, the days before Fields' return. What Fields must do to prove he earns the opportunity to be the starter next year. These 5 categories. Number 1, have at least a 2-to-1 touchdown to turnover ratio. That has not happened. He's got 1 touchdown and 2 turnovers in these 2 games. So that's an X in that one. Number 2, stop taking so many sacks. He's taken 5 sacks in 2 games, but we looked at sack percentage. He's at 7.5% and 8% in these 2 games. That is much improved from where he was before, which was 12 to 14% in his career year by year. So that's actually improved. Number 3, play in all 7 games, win 4. That's where the 0.5 comes in on the bottom, which we'll talk about in a second. He's played in both games. He's won 1, so he's kind of right on track to potentially do that. He's on track to win 3 or 4 games and play in all 7, so we won't know that for sure until we get through all 7 games. Complete 65% of passes or more. He's over 70% in 2 games, so that's a check mark. Number 5, build elite chemistry with DJ Moore, which he had done before the injury. That needed to continue and expand. That's absolutely a check. 11 catches last night, 114 yards, 96 yards and a touchdown last week. He's averaging over 100 yards in the 2 games since Fields returns. That chemistry is there. So first one, X. Second one, check. Third one, half. You're kind of on track. Too early to determine. Fourth one, check. Fifth one, check. 3 out of 5 out of 5. To really prove he can be the guy, I think it's got to be 5 check marks. You're at 3.5 right now. 5 games to go. I think winning that game last night at least kept hope alive for him in Chicago moving forward. So more to evaluate as we progress here. Let me know, do you believe in Justin Fields more or less after last night? Because, again, the game-winning drive, that's good. 2 fumbles late, not so good. Type M for more, L for less, or S for same certainly works. I don't know. You got to think it's a confidence booster to go drive down and win that game, hit that 3rd and 10, 35-yard in route to DJ Moore, but it's hard to say. M for more or L for less. Let me know what you guys think. Here's what's coming up on the channel, by the way, and why you should subscribe to Chicago Bears Now. Some videos we're going to hit at some point during the bye week. Luke Getsy replacements. Good God almighty, he was bad last night. We're going to talk about him in a second. Also, the updated NFC playoff picture, believe it or not, the Bears are only 2 games out of a playoff spot. So we'll dive into that, and we'll do another mock draft either this week or next. Mock draft 7.0. Even with the win last night, the Bears still have the number 1 and number 4 overall picks. All of that and more coming up on the channel, so subscribe for free Bears content. All right, as we go into Overreaction Tuesday, shout out producer Coop for fixing that. Fire Luke Getsy. Well, I'm going to say for Smoking Jays. They absolutely should. Will they? I don't know, but it's my overreaction, and I'm saying for Smoking Jays, which for our new subscribers, people who haven't watched in a while perhaps, here's our Smoking Jay rumor meter. 0 Smoking Jays means it's fake news, not going to happen. 1 Smoking Jay, it's barely true, kind of pun on words there, could happen, but unlikely. 2 Smoking Jays, people are talking, that's where field status is. He's firmly in the could go either way camp, but I would lean that getting a quarterback in the draft is probably a little more likely than keeping Fields, but there's still time. 3 Smoking Jays, it's pretty likely to happen. 4 Smoking Jays, bear down. It absolutely will happen. And in this case, I'm kind of cheating. It absolutely should happen. And I do believe at this point in time, if the season ended today, he would get fired. It may not happen mid-season, but I do think that's where it's heading. At Eberflus, I still think he would as well. This is just an indictment on Getsy. Courtney Cronin. Per ESPN stats and info, Justin Fields was blitzed on 52% of his dropbacks. The Bears tried to combat that with a horizontal passing game. 13 screen passes that led to Fields' lowest air yards per attempt at 2.4, which, by the way, the last one was over 30, about 30 through the air, so that elevated that. And air yards per completion, 1.9, lowest of his career. Fields threw 21 passes at or behind the line of scrimmage, most in the NFL since 2020. This was disgusting from Luke Getsy. Absolutely disgusting. I actually get it to a certain extent to run screen game against a blitz-heavy team. 13, though, 8 more that are throws behind the line of scrimmage, and at 1.3 screens in a row, I am sick of Luke Getsy, and coming up in just a few moments, I'm going to tell you why more I was just pissed off last night. And it doesn't end with Luke Getsy, but it absolutely starts there. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this, but you're not going to want to miss out on this deal either, and that is Factor Meals. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service with delicious, healthy, and convenient meals delivered straight to your doorstep that are prepared from their chefs at Factor. Here's the deal. Skip the stress of meal prepping over the holidays with Factor. Choose from our 35-plus weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences, all delivered right to your door and ready to eat in 2 minutes. What I like about Factor as well is they got Gourmet Plus options, which are kind of their upscale meals that are available as well. They have calorie-conscious options, which meals of 550 calories or less. They've got Protein Plus meals with 30-plus grams of protein in those different categories. Just go check them out. FactorMeals.com/BearsChat50. Go surf, see what you like. You can do the chef-recommended meal package. You can get a custom delivery for the week, whatever you're feeling. 50% off at FactorMeals.com/BearsChat50. That is FactorMeals.com/BearsChat50. It's a busy time during the holidays. Go ahead and get some easy, delicious, and healthy meals in a short manner with Factor. You look at Justin Fields' spray chart last night, as they call it. The amount of screens, guys, and usually wide receiver screens, that's what pisses me off too. There's very little variance. It's just snap, throw it out to the perimeter. The one time they ran a wide receiver screen to Roschon, I don't even know if it was a screen. It might have just been like a delayed check down, but it felt like a screen-ish. Went for like 30 yards, and it had some deception to it. This is just like throw, get it out. And you see the one gray mark there on the left side behind the line of scrimmage. The defensive lineman knew it was coming, just sprinted upfield, not even to rush the quarterback, and he almost picked it off for a pick six because everybody in the stadium knew it was going to be a screen. Here's my problem, man. Again, the Vikings blitz the hell out of people. They blitzed you 52% last time. I get running some screen game. But you can run quick passing attacks to combat blitzes that aren't just screens. How about that first drive on 4th and 10? Brian Flores sends the house, 6 or 7. Justin Fields hangs in there, finds Cole Kmet for a first down on a crosser downfield. How about on a 6-man blitz? There's a little 5-yard dig route to DJ Moore that Fields identifies the hot, takes the 5 and gets to the next play. It's like they don't think he can do it, so they don't give him that many chances. But when they do, he kind of showed you that he could do it, but they didn't give him enough of those. It's like, yes, run some screens against 50+% blitzing. I understand. 13, though, 3 in a row at one point, You can beat blitzes without screen game. There's other ways. Like, I just don't think Luke Getsy's creative enough. It's one or two things. He's not creative enough, or he just has so little faith in Fields that he's just terrified and he's just going to throw on the perimeter. Like, and if that's the case, like, what are we doing here? I don't understand. Like, last week, Fields was throwing all over the yard. Like, I don't get it. I do not get it. Try different things, and then guess what? If you're Luke Getsy and you say, hey, man, I ditched the screen game against this blitz-heavy package. I tried to see if he could consistently identify hots. He couldn't. Ryan Poles, here's the film. What do you want me to do? Like, if I'm Getsy, that's how I'm going down. Like, I'm going to see if he can do these things, and if he can't, then, hey, you guys asked for it. It just feels like they're trying to squeak out these wins, but you're not actually evaluating the quarterback in the process. Like, how much can we take away from Fields last night? Not that much. Should the Bears fire Luke Getsy? Type F for fire, K for keep. I'd fire him during the bye week, and I'd give Andrew Janocko a look. It seems like him and Fields have a good relationship. They're always talking on the sideline. I see Fields with Janocko way more than Getsy at this point. I don't know if it's just when the cameras pan over there. Maybe it's a coincidence, but it certainly feels that way. F for fire, K for keep. Let me know what you guys think when it comes to Luke Getsy. Okay, here. Matt Eberflus, is the defense improving? Yeah. Pre-smoking Jays, pretty likely. It's certainly, certain numbers would suggest that, but, you have to take certain things with a grain of salt, and that's what I do just want to make the point of. Yes, the defense has improved. We'll show some numbers in a minute that suggest that this is a better unit than last year, but there's a reason I put a but right there. Not an actual but, the word but with one T, not two. Here's the thing. It continues to be garbage quarterbacks that Matt Eberflus has beat. He is yet to be a real franchise quarterback. You think about the quarterbacks he has beaten in his coaching career. Go ahead and flash this, Coop. We'll take a look in a second. Trey Lance in week 1 of last year, third stringer in Dallas. Davis Mills, week 3 of last year, backup in Houston. Mac Jones last year, he's going to be a backup soon. Brian Hoyer, he should not be in the league. Bryce Young, I know he was the number 1 pick. He and Carolina look terrible, and they just fired their coach. You beat Josh Dobbs this week. Like, it's just not good football, man. Oh, I didn't also, Sam Howell. I skipped over him for some reason. Sam Howell, he's by far the most impressive quarterback you've beaten. Not like Sam Howell has shown he's going to be a franchise guy, though. Like, there's a lot of questions there still in Washington. So the point is, you've beaten 7 quarterbacks, and Sam Howell's the best one by a pretty wide margin, and he's like a fringe top 20-ish, top 25 quarterback in this league. It's just not that impressive to me. Now, yeah, there's certain metrics that you've improved on. You're still bottom 5, bottom 6 in scoring defense. Passing defense, you're still easily bottom 10, if not bottom 8 there at 25th. Rush defense, you're number 1. That is, you've made a clear improvement there. Linebackers are good. Andrew Billings has made a difference there. Sweat's come in here and helped there. Total defense, in terms of total yards allowed, 9th. It's a little skewed, though, because the pass defense isn't very good, so teams can throw on you pretty consistently. Takeaways, you're up to 12th now, tied for 12th. 8 takeaways the last 2 weeks. I think Sweat has made an impact there as well. The point is, though, is I still feel the same about Matt Eberflus, because Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, is solid. He's pretty good. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's a defensive coordinator for a team next year, if he gets fired. Like, I think he's a, top half defensive coordinator in this league. But when we evaluate him, you have to evaluate him as the head coach. There's still way too many penalties. He had a stupid challenge last night. I mean, just no chance of it getting overturned. Just a waste. I just don't believe in him as a head coach at this point. I don't. And by the way, I don't know how much stock to put into this, but ESPN after the game has the camera in the Bears locker room while Flus is giving the speech. Kevin Warren's in there, Ryan Poles, and they pan across. DeMarcus Walker's about 5 feet from Matt Eberflus. You know what he's doing? He's doing one of these. He's on his phone during the post-game speech. Now, maybe that's a worse look on D-Walk than it is Flus, but, like, if Flus is, like, someone who's commanding that room, one of 2 things should happen. One, that should never fucking happen in the first place. It's like, hey, the head coach is talking after win. Put your goddamn phone up. Number 2, if he does have his phone out, hey, DeMarcus, put your fucking phone up. I'm talking. but he didn't do that. So it's like, I don't want to overreact to something like that, but like, I just don't believe in him as a head coach. I'll give him credit. The guys keep playing hard for him. Like, it doesn't seem like he's lost the team, but to me, he's a defensive coordinator. He is not a head coach. So where are you at with Matt Eberflus? Are you with me? Like, where it's like, yeah, I mean, I think he can be a DC somewhere, but head coach of this team long term, I just don't see it, man. I still think it's going to have to take a flurry of a finish for him to retain his job. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here on Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to the show. We'll be back later today with another video, so stand by, and we will see you then. Bear down.